Hello, I'm Nathan Tudor. I'm here with Wolverhampton Wanderers reporter, Mr. Timothy Spiers. Wolverhampton Wanderers 4, Crusaders 1 is what you went for.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers 6, Crusaders 0 is what I went for. 2-0. An injury time goal to add to it. Underwhelming, do you think? Slightly disappointing?
It was until the 93rd minute, and I think 2-0 is a good scoreline. Looking at it overall, no away goals for the visitors is probably the key thing to take out tonight. Wolves are always going to take a lead to Northern Ireland in my mind. It was a bit underwhelming. I think we've got to remember that, as Wolves said themselves early in the summer, this is part of their pre-season. They've only had 2 friendlies. I thought that showed in terms of the intensity dipped a bit in the second half, from minutes kind of 60 to 90. Apart from Traore, the intensity really dipped, and I thought that was just indicative of where they're at in terms of their fitness. Really, you couldn't say that of them last season.
No.
They got better as games gone on. So,
but we did expect them to tie, though, didn't we, at that stage as well? But they didn't.
Yeah.
Credit to Crusaders.
Yeah, in terms of concentration, they were excellent throughout, except for that slip up from the keeper at the end, which is ultimately what I think will be the changing goal of the tie, the key goal of the tie. You know, I don't see Wolves blowing a 2-goal lead out in Northern Ireland, given the gulfing class between the two sides tonight. You know, if Crusaders have ambitions of actually progressing, then they'll have to come out at Seaview next week and really attack Wolves, and Wolves will pick them off and exploit them on the break, and they'll look better away from home, I think, probably than they did tonight. I mean, they completely dominated. 30 shots, 80% possession. It doesn't really get much more dominant than that.
But no clear-cut chances, really, were there?
But yeah, there was just a bit of a lack of that incisive, creative final ball to really open them up. But it's tough. It's a thankless task. It really is.
It is. I think people have probably seen that team's gone and beaten Newcastle 4-0 and beaten Manchester City, and then you're playing part-timers. But it's difficult. You know, Wolves 4 days ago were 5,500 miles away.
Yeah, but Wolves were the ones sort of sitting back against Man City, and if Crusaders had shown the effort levels that Newcastle did last week, then it could have been double figures. Because Newcastle were just pathetic, really, last week.
You're not going to get St James's Park, which is
awful club. No, I'm just joking. No. Terrible team.
Like Ashley. I was watching.
So, full credit to Crusaders, who were applauded off the field by the generous home supporters. Who are obviously in a good mood. You don't really see that very often.
They've been in a bit of right since 2 o'clock.
Maybe the sun's just cheered everyone up. Well, you rarely see that.
I don't want to go out. I'm sweaty.
You are sweaty. You're pitting. So they fully deserve that round of applause for the concentration, the organisation. They were resolute. As Conor Cody's just said, a lovely bunch of lads as well. Biggest game in their careers for most of them, and they did themselves proud tonight.
Jota, though,
so good for them.
Still keeps on scoring and thumped it in, by the way.
Yeah, that's a really good. There's a couple of really big positives tonight. His goal, continuing his form from China, where he netted a couple against Newcastle, but more importantly, taking his form from last season, bringing it into 2019-20 in a big way. And I think he could be a superstar this season. He could propel himself to European and worldwide stardom. That's how good he is. No, if he shows his December to May form, throughout the whole of this season, I mean, bloody hell. Great finish, and the guy who set it up was probably the man of the match, Mr. Traore.
Yeah, he was going to go into him next. Look, he was superb.
He was a little segue. We'll finally get the hang of this. 4 years in.
It's a good thing you're not leaving. Matt Doherty injured. He's got a great chance, and goodness me, probably one of his best games in a Wolves shirt.
Well, it's on the
albeit against limited opposition.
No, totally. But you look at the other flank with Johnny and Vinagre. We've predicted we could see a bit of a horses for courses approach with them this season. You know, remember how Vinagre and Traore tore Cardiff apart towards the end of last season when Nuno made that maverick team selection. Well, why not on the other flank? Why not? Traore is very much Doherty's backup now.
Sure.
Being linked with a lot of players at the moment, not being linked with any wing backs. I don't expect him to sign one. So Traore will get a lot of minutes. And this kind of game against this kind of opposition is perfect for him. I mean, the number 15, the left back. I mean, he might not sleep for a week.
Yeah.
I think he'll still be having nightmares about this in 30 years' time. I could see him sleep running down his hallway tonight, thinking he's still chasing a Adama Traore.
But you come back better than that. That's fine.
Well, go on then. Well, the world's your oyster. Here we go.
Fine,
Here we go. Here comes a better line from Nathan Judy. Here we go.
I want you to talk about Morgan's White. Come back here.
Don't knock it if you haven't got a better one.
Okay, that's fine. I just thought you were going to go with something that you'd be pre-prepared, but obviously we're just off the cuff. And it's fine.
You've
done better.
Ironically, that's the express train that was Troy the only train coming out of Wolverhampton tonight.
Wow, hey, like that.
That's up to your standards, is it?
Yes, better. Rather than the express and start by tomorrow at 65p. What happened? Long White, disappointing?
No, didn't think so.
Really? Think he was alright?
Thought he played well, yeah.
He's got a bit of stick on social media.
Has he?
Missed a chance, I think, with a decent
Missed
header.
a few chances, as did almost everybody on the pitch.
Thought Routinho was a bit off tonight.
Inches wide. Who do you want me to talk about it? Go on. Who do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, go on.
He was really close to that with a header. Had a really good shot that was just over the bar. I thought he was quite inventive. He linked up quite well with Jota. There was not a lot of room for him out there.
Yeah.
And with 10 defenders in that key area. So I thought he did okay.
Is that his position going forward? Do you think this season? Can you see him having a bit of a role doing that?
Depends what he wants to do with the midfield. Really, I think as we saw tonight, they did labour at times, and it was underwhelming. If it was 1-0 full time, that goal's changed the complexion of the whole tie. But if it finished 1-0, it would have been a quiet finish. The whole crowd had gone quiet. It petered out.
You went quiet. Then you went a bit quiet.
But it went. They got the goal. They gave everyone a lift. Happy days. See you later. That should be tied done. But. Yeah, I thought Gibbs White did okay.
A little bit worried sign. Ruben Neves came off and looked a little bit in a bit of pain and went straight to the medics. What's the situation with him?
Yeah, so he's gone to hospital this evening for precautionary tests on a side injury. So yeah, it was a bit of an aerial challenge. He was hobbling around for 5 minutes and then he came off, holding it, grimacing, immediate tension, and then went down the tunnel. So I'm no doctor, unlike my dad.
Because I've doctor love a few times.
Hey, Dad, extremely disappointed. This is what I've ended up doing, obviously. So we can ask him for advice at some point.
Well, get him on the phone, get him on the blower. Dr. Spiers.
He's been here tonight as well. He assessed it from afar. Side injury, 4 weeks, he said.
Pulled fetlock, he said.
So, no, all joking aside, side injury, I mean, they're not common and they're not quick fixes, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I'm no doctor, so I probably shouldn't. No, I'm going to speculate. But the fact he's gone to hospital is not a good sign. No. I'm told it's precautionary and it's for a test, so fingers crossed. But
at the same time, it kind of just shows the thinness of this squad at this moment in time. Now we've got a new player who's going to the dressing room, this evening.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Can you talk about him and meeting the peeps?
Well, I saw him walk through the door.
So he's got a great jawline.
Has he?
Yes, the first thing I noticed.
Right, well that's typical of you, isn't it? I saw him walk to the dressing room and then I saw him walk out of the dressing room.
Right.
What happened in between, I don't know.
That's disappointing.
I'm presuming he met the players.
Okay, sure. I think he wanted to go to the toilet.
Yeah, unless that was his sole purpose. So,
Real Madrid centre-back on loan for the rest of the season, are we expecting?
Jesus Vallejo.
Jesus, yes.
22-year-old. Real Madrid centre-half. He is Spain's under-21 captain. Numerous caps for them. Just captained them to win in the Euros. Him and Rafa Mir, good mates. And very highly rated.
Sure, Rafa spoke well about the chances he's got all in.
No, you. They picked him up from Zaragoza.
We're going to go through this all season. Oh God! Well, for the next few games.
Picked him from Zaragoza a few years ago.
Yeah.
Loaned him out back to Zaragoza and also Eintracht Frankfurt. I'm sorry, I'll stop there. I'm delirious. It's hot.
I'll leave it to you. Keep going. You could go with your phrases.
So he's kind of made about 20 appearances for both of those clubs. I think there were hopes for him pushing for more Madrid appearances last season, but I think he only started 4 times. Had 4 muscle injuries during last season. So that's been a bit of a hindrance, way down the pecking order. So they're letting him go.
So is this someone to come in
to
be straight in the first team squad and first team? Is he going to be in the front 3, or is this someone who's going to back 3, or someone who's going to basically come in and challenge Ryan Bennett and maybe bringing another centre back in?
That's a good question. I don't know really if this ends their search of Ruben Diaz. Personally, I don't think it does. Because I think they need more players. I think Saïs didn't convince at centre half last year. Dendonker's now very much a midfielder and a key part of that midfield. So there's no defenders there, is there? Apart from Max Gilman. Last season.
Maximilian.
I think they saw Saïs and Dendonker as centre halves last season, but maybe that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd expect perhaps 2 to come in. And what I would say, I mean, Ryan Bennett's had a good pre-season, as a lot of them have had. But do you sign players from Real Madrid to put on the bench? Probably not. I think Real Madrid would want assurances he's going to play, especially seeing as the fact that from what I gather, there's no option to buy.
For sure.
So Real Madrid see him as a key player
Yeah.
for them going. So they're not going to send him to Wolves.
Good to do business with Real Madrid though, always a bonus, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Get that two-way banter going, banter bus, train.
Well, it's a good one way,
That's
but
what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
think they want to send any that way, do they?
I don't know, they can
Unless
have a
that's what we
couple.
advocated.
They can have a couple on the bench.
So we'll see. Patrick Cutrone goes on and on. You know, I don't
Confident?
think. Sort of, it's up to the player really. I think Wolves will move on if he doesn't agree soon, because we saw this with Zinchenko last year. You know, they don't want to leave it too late in the day like they did with Zinchenko if he's not interested.
So 2-0. Let's go back onto Crusaders. 2-0. They go to Northern Ireland next Thursday. Is that enough to rest a few of them? I mean, maybe Ruben Neves might not play, or a couple of others potentially. But plastic pitch, it's not ideal. Is it going to be a mix and match side, or is it going to be very much the same side we saw tonight?
No, I think they cannot afford to play a weaking team and go 1-0 down inside 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden you've got a hell of a game on your hands, a tight, packed ground. And as you say, on a plastic pitch against highly motivated opposition who will be, they'll just be well up for it, won't they? So I don't think you can afford to rest players, and I don't think you will. Okay. And also, again, as I said at the start of the video, this is still pre-season. This is Wolves' preparation for the Premier League. Yeah. So these guys need more minutes.
Wolves 2, Crusaders 0. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstart.com.